Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. If this video hits 1500 likes, which I know you guys can do, we are giving away $100 worth of crypto to somebody in the comment section. If you want to enter into this giveaway, there's only 3 simple steps. Make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below. Having said that, I have been observing the Ethereum prices. I've been talking about this for the last couple of days, but more so, I've been looking into it and really trying to put together all my thoughts about the price and about the project. Now, in terms of project, I am extremely bullish. I will always stay that way, and I'm going to keep holding my Ethereum. In terms of real price over the short term, I'm not too certain though. We saw quite a lot of ideas about Ethereum really replicating what we saw in 2016 and 17 for Bitcoin. Basically, Ethereum being poised to go to $20,000 somewhere in this run like Bitcoin did a little bit earlier. Like right around this area, a lot of people are saying that Ethereum right now is following basically what happened over here, and thus it's poised to go all the way to a Bitcoin all-time high because it follows the same pattern. It just depends though on how you like to view these things. I like to see it that it is a completely different concept. There's not really any construct to say that it can follow the same set of rules as their completely different crypto. They have completely different coin amounts, so it's not necessarily going to follow. However, to a certain different degree, I cannot really say we cannot go to 20,000 per Ethereum, for example, because, well, the crypto space has really made a lot of people doubt whether or not their judgment on something which is quite abstract should even be correct or should even be considered. In the sense that right now, I don't think we can really fathom exactly where these crypto prices can even go. So $20,000 per Ethereum might sound a little bit crazy right now, but it's actually not that crazy in my head as well. Like, I'm just thinking here, 20,000 per Ethereum will be a lot, but I think it will get there eventually. And whenever I start to think about it that way, I'm also like, well, Bitcoin will eventually go to 300,000. I'm quite convinced of that. I think it will come eventually. And if I think about it that way, I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter what it does this short term because eventually we're going to these prices. Now, for Ethereum, the bigger question I saw pop up was, where are we going in the very short term? And my personal thoughts is that we can actually have a very kind of dubious moment right here as we've just hit the all-time high of Ethereum in terms of market cap. So no, we didn't hit the $1,420 price point really. However, the price times the amount of coins, which dictates the market cap, this little thing right here, has actually gone to its all-time high and has actually gone above it on some exchanges. So from that perspective, well, we can't fall down again since we hit that point, right? And the same thing we saw with Bitcoin here. It just got to its all-time high at first before dropping back down. Need to quickly find it right here. Somewhere around here, it got its all-time high, fell back down for a couple of weeks before continuing the push. That could also be what we're going to be witnessing for Ethereum just quite now, as it kind of hit its all-time high, at least in terms of market cap. And the same thing happened to Bitcoin. On the contrary, though, if you're asking me long term, I still think $20,000 is even quite conservative for where Ethereum is going to go. Same thing for Bitcoin at 340,000. But hey, that is just my thoughts on the situation. There's no real factuals, right? This here is from Trading Shot. It is a pretty cool analysis. By the way, I cover all this type of stuff also quite often on 5-Minute Crypto. This channel is basically for people who don't have much time in a day to cover crypto in depth, but just want some quick news basically, and the most trendy subjects and topics. It's just 5 minutes a day. Go check it out. Go subscribe to it. I definitely think it's worth it as well. And yeah, moving on. Trading Shot here posted a pretty cool analysis of Bitcoin. Major pullback on future bottom. It basically follows the same pattern always. You know, Bitcoin follows the same pattern. Right now, he's expecting Bitcoin to hit 53-ish thousand before falling back down to about 30-something thousand, 32 or so, before continuing its push all the way to the freaking moon, going all the way without ever stopping, because RSI is going to test this all-time high basically again, or at least this higher point before, again, making the double top, basically just always doing the exact same thing, right? You can basically see how this is moving along. It all lines up pretty much. He's expecting the same thing to happen once more, so we're going to go up for a little bit before falling back down, and basically he's warning for another top that could be around the corner. Even though this would be a generally positive thing, it is something to watch out for and something to listen to because, well, he may see some sense into this, and if it does hit about 53-ish thousand before falling back down, we're definitely going to be listening to Trading Shot a little bit more, even though I'm not saying go buy his stuff, right? Again, I'm not saying go put all your money into this and put full faith. We're just saying, hey, he posted something on TradingView. Let's watch and let's come back in a couple of days, see how this played out. Those are my thoughts. Having said that, Ethereum feels cheap during a bull run. You know what I've actually found out as well is that a lot of people don't actually know that you can buy parts of a Bitcoin, parts of an Ethereum, and I think that's actually why quite a lot of people also move over into XRP. Part of it is, of course, because the price is way lower right now in terms of market cap as well, like price times amount of coins, but also because the price is a lot more accessible and it feels a lot more like cheap coins, like cheap currency, even though it is actually way, quote unquote, more expensive than Litecoin is, as Litecoin has a way lower market cap, and so like ADA, Bitcoin Cash, yada, yada, yada. All these are actually a lot more cheap than Ethereum, than XRP, and of course Ethereum and Bitcoin, but people sometimes seem to see it differently because they're thinking about just buying one coin. However, buying one coin really doesn't matter. It's about how much money you put into it and basically how much of a part you are of the total, right? If you're 1% and you have one coin versus being 0.1% for having one coin, if they're both the same price, then which one is bigger, right? They're not both the same thing. And from that perspective, I sometimes think that people are getting really out of these two coins eventually because they're so quote unquote expensive and going for the cheaper alternatives. On the contrary, all the people that are into XRP are also there for the gains. And if we always stay at these cheap prices, then it kind of defeats the point, right? But Ethereum feels cheap because I think it's just grandfathered in so much. People have been talking about this coin for so long that it kind of feels weird to sometimes say that Ethereum is not going to go up. And even though it is very close to its all-time high, it still feels rather cheap because Bitcoin went double its all-time high, and usually Ethereum follows quite soon afterwards. Now, I personally think that all altcoins, at least most of them, will actually follow suit here really quickly and start to go past and maybe 2 times all-time high. But for XRP, I would have expected it to hit about $3 by now, maybe 2, maybe 150, something along those lines, if it weren't for the SEC lawsuit. On the other end, though, I do believe that this has all been planned and that this whole lawsuit is just to give XRP its clarity, as, well, all these things just don't add up. The SEC chairman left a day after putting up this lawsuit, and the new chairman and actually the whole commission is just against this lawsuit, basically just saying, hey, we need to get clarity, and this is a little bit strange what they've done here. They also all admit that there wasn't enough clarity before, and thus, in the end, I think the worst that's going to happen to Ripple is that they maybe get some fine for something they did in the past, but I think going on forward, so from this point on forward, XRP is going to be deemed not a security because they just cannot prove it. Whatever they're going to try, it won't really hold up in court, I think, right? Again, it's not a fact, but I think just because of what they explain every single time. And I really update myself quite properly on what is going on with XRP and Ripple. And every time they post something new over on Twitter, I check it out. And I notice these guys are so confident in their capabilities. We already know the UK has decided to call them not a security. And basically all we're waiting for is for the SEC or, I guess, the court in the US to come out with the same information. Did Ripple try to forestall the devastating XRP lawsuit by the US SEC? CEO Brett Garlinghouse clarifies. We'll get into that in just a second, but also make sure you check out Webull, guys. If you're from the US, I think you can get 2 or even 4 stocks for free. So just check it out. A link is down below. You can trade stocks and crypto on there. A lot of guys that I know use this. It is pretty damn cool. And also check out GSX. A link is down below as well. It is the first gold-backed coin, basically. I like it. I put a couple $1,000s in just to try, but it's not a guarantee. You guys know it, right? You guys know the drill. I'm just putting some money in some different projects, and this one is one of them. It's a gold-backed idea. I'm going for it a little bit. There's a 5% bonus for using my link and a 22% bonus for being early, but that is that. So, did Ripple try to forestall the devastating XRP lawsuit? What I honestly believe that happened here is Ripple has had this discussion with the SEC a couple of months ago. They had a discussion and they were like, whoa, let's, do you guys just give us some guidelines or give the world some guidelines? And the SEC was, well, but how do we do that? Or what would you expect? What would you like? And Ripple was like, well, you can just enforce these rules and this and that and this and that. And the SEC was like, well, we can't just do that. We have to do this, that before we can actually do that. I'm not saying anything specific because we don't know anything specific, but they most likely discussed it in that way, shape, or form. Eventually, though, at the end of the discussion, Ripple was like, okay, but make an example out of us. We are not a security. Prove it to the world. And maybe the SEC, agreed to it, or maybe at the end of the conversation, there was a kind of a dispute where the SEC was like, but we can't take you as an example because you are a security. And Ripple was like, wait, no, we aren't a security. And they were just kind of discussing about how to prove clarity, where they found Ripple a bad example, possibly. You know, the XRP coin a bad example, or Ripple as a company a bad example for the future. But Ripple's like, well, we are not a security, and the SEC was like, well, maybe you are, right? And now, once and for all, they just want to kind of have a baseline of what is and what isn't a security once we're talking about the crypto space, and that might really be what's unfolding right now. A planned situation, because I think it's funny, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit later, how all these countries in the world are already deciding that XRP is not a security. Ripple, about a month and a half ago or so, already started talking about leaving, and how being called a security wouldn't actually affect them too much. It would only cause a small little dip, most likely, in their functionality. They were all preparing for it. They knew, right? At least it kind of feels like they knew about something in the past. So that's definitely interesting to me. However, once more, I've said it, and I will keep saying it. Ethereum, $20,000 is not something crazy. XRP doubling its all-time high, so $8, something like that, is not too crazy. I think it would have already been there if we hadn't had this lawsuit. I think it would have been at $2 or so. I really do think so. Why? Well, again, look at all these prices. Look at all these cryptos, and look how good they've been doing. I think XRP would have really been up there. At least, maximum have about 100% to go till its all-time high. I think something like that. It could have even been that XRP was number 2 right now, just because of how good it does in good market circumstances. But yeah, guys, I'm crazy excited for what crypto has to bring for us. I'm crazy excited to look at crypto every single day, and I'm going to keep doing that for the rest of my days, hopefully. It's really an amazing time. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe, and I will definitely see you guys again in another crypto video. Also, check out 5 Minute Crypto and my other channels. You guys know them. Check them out, and I'll see you guys again in another one.